What's up, STS Nation? We are live here at the bookseller in Chicago, and for the very first time on this book tour, torrential rain outside the doors, uh, thunderous rain. Go figure. The COE's with me and her best friend, and not only has there been torrential rain, but there was an earthquake here, 18 tornado warnings yesterday, the most ever delivered in the state of Illinois at one time. That was yesterday. Now there's an Illinois town on the brink of disaster because a dam is about to break. But I just bumped into an old friend of mine from I grew up with. She's here, right here. Nadine, say hi, everybody. You're live on STS.
With whom?
STS Nation. You're live. Say hello.
Oh my God! I thought it was with some of our friends.
No,
Hi.
this is STS.
We are.
Hello, STS Nation. Make sure you come on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Very good. What's the place called?
It's called
Shalom. Thank you. And we are live right now, and we're waiting for torrential rain to die down. But we're going to start, it's crazy, and bringing you behind the scenes in Chicago with a cell phone. Vivi, I'm going to hand this off to you. You're in charge. And Mommy can be in charge, and then you have to show everybody.
We're in charge. So, guys, if you want to know, hold on, wait, let's set this. You should, you should subscribe. Like, here it comes. Wait. Here, right here. Perfect. Hello, STS Nation. If you want to write in the comments, oh, hello, Black Widow. Hi. I so we love all you guys. And hello, Canine Catherine. So, and I don't know, but if you know, I think you do. But right now we're at the book signing, and you don't come. If you don't come to the one today, you should come to the one on Thursday.
Hang on one sec. Let me just do one thing.
Well,
By the way, guys, we're at the bookseller in Chicago. If you're ever in town, please come. Now, watch me go.
I was getting you a lot of followers.
Oh, thank you.
I was getting you a lot of followers. Views. So, you should definitely come to his book signing soon. Or anything. And
We also host a huge conference.
the yes, we do have a teeny tiny hand. Uh so hello Jessie Gold. I mean Josie Gold. Jersey Girl. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of cursing in there. Like, my mom like.
So
But
um
yeah. But if you want, we're here.
Amanda yes,
Might
you
enjoy
are
it.
very welcome to come. Yeah, level you need. And guys, you should really come Thursday. Last book tour in Chicago. And then if you can't come then, come to the one in LA. So, yeah, STS Nation. If you didn't know, if you're watching and you just started like this, for example, some people are new and some people aren't. I know a few of these people aren't here. If you are new, make sure you guys maybe you should subscribe to my dad's channel. And yeah. Um so yeah, we are Hi Jessica M72. We love you guys. I hope you guys are having the best. Everybody hit the like button and everybody like and subscribe. So just saying one more time. Hello, we love you. Thank you, Miss T. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Oh, I love College Bridge. It's very, very, very fun. I love it. I do like College Bridge. My color of my suitcase is pink and white. So, no, we are not drinking coffee. It's hot chocolate. Um, well, yeah, make sure to come to the book signing. So, yeah, we just wanted to say, like, you guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting our channel. We're drinking hot chocolate, by the way. Um, thank you very, very much, everybody. So yeah, everyone, you keep asking. Yes, there was a tornado last night. Tornado warning. No, there's an actual tornado and there was an earthquake. We did not ride the Ferris wheel at the Navy, but we did walk around. Like went to like the little park. We just did some swimming. Yes, I could swim. I could swim. Who said that? I think it was like someone. Uh, Miss Demino. But whatever. Mom, do you want to say anything to STS? If you want to? No, Mom.
Hi guys, we're just gonna be waiting on standby here.
Mom, I was like talking. I was getting you guys a lot of views, right?
Okay.
Like to hit that subscribe button.
Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, yeah, we're just gonna put this here for a minute. Say hi to everyone at STS Nation. Hello, everyone. Give us a minute as things get started.
Someone just called Grandma Karma.
That's okay. You're everything that you're.
STS Nation, like hi COE. This is my favorite COE right here.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
So we're gonna get started with this. So have a nice
Here, hold it.
guys.
Just you guys can also be silent.
All right, so V, you good? Oh, you know what? In my phone, I have notes on. Let me just see it for 1 second.
We'll be back.
Hold on. I don't even know what this is doing to the live right now.
Maybe you sit here, you put your drink here, and you can just hold it and record.
Can I just borrow this till I'm done with the very opening?
Yeah.
Here, you just give it back to me, V, when we're. Here you go. Oh, what did I just do? There you go.
Mom, how do I turn the camera?
I'm not sure. Study. See how we do that. Maybe we do it here. Mike? Okay.
Okay.
And then just keep it on daddy's back.
Judah, we're starting. Tell Logan. Is his name Logan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Screwed that up. I'm terrible with names. I'm hoping that the rain is keeping people away. Not hoping, but I'm hoping that's why it's a little emptier than our normal crowd. But we're all good.
Yeah,
And before just yeah, the
right.
floor.
Get us going, Garrett. I'd like to welcome everyone. Tonight is special as we're hosting a mother-son team as we celebrate with them in the launch of their new book, Surviving the Survivor. We've never had, like as many events as we've had at the store, we've never had a mother-son team before. So
It's for everything.
what happens when you take a psychotherapist and Holocaust survivor mom, a son discontented with his broadcast journalist job, and combine their efforts to create a podcast together. As with any new technology, you get a steep learning curve, disagreements, laughter, and ultimately success as Surviving the Survivor becomes a popular true crime hit. And working together, Joel learned things about his mother, Carmela, that he did not know. Joel and his mom were able to have conversations they will treasure forever that might not have happened. With that. So, without further ado, let's turn the evening to Carmela and Joel, the huge bookseller welcome.
He needs that for notes really quick.
Here we go. It's taking over already. Didn't take long. Can you flip me this way?
Sit down. Sit down, please.
All right, everyone. Sorry for the lack of professionalism. And Mr. Gentleman, you can't hear me. He's got earbuds. Yeah, you're welcome. Come join us. We're doing a book signing. You'll love it. I promise. It'll be the best part of your day. I promise. And we're live to our massive podcast audience right now. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we're doing a live show. You're going to hear in a minute, but I have to do something, everyone, real quick. Some people are saying they can't hear. So I like to start off every book signing with a day in the life of Joel and Karm. This all happened within the last 24 hours. Karm gets caught every time because she has no impulse control. But so for the very first time in my life, and then we're going to get into the story, her Holocaust story. But we flew here yesterday. We've been all over the place. I've dragged Karm. She's been a trooper to Toronto, Philly, Boston, New York twice, Miami, where we live. We're going to Los Angeles. She's refusing now to go to Los Angeles. So everyone, please, you should come join us. Come join us. You're live on a podcast. Come join us. Now this is my new tactic. Oh wait, what's going on here? I may have just lost it. I don't know. So long story short, we were getting off the plane. The kids were sitting a few rows in front, which I did not plan intentionally, but was the greatest gift. I love you guys. They're sitting with Ileana, and Karma's lost a step or two. She doesn't need it, but she gets the wheelchair treatment. So it's like better than clear. We get right through, and I don't complain about that. But we were the last ones off the plane. She insisted. I've never been the last person off a plane. So the amazing thing about the flight was she was sitting a row, and we were separate. So I was here, and she was right here. And Karm loves to have ultimate control. So the whole flight, from the back row 32 to 31, I was going like this. And she turned around at one point. This is why I write these down. She said, "May I die?" That's a famous Carmela expression. "I will punch you in the face," she said. Very refined. She said, and by the way, Karm publicly or privately tells me she hates book signings, but when she's here, she loves it more than anyone. She loves people. I'm too old for this. She said that I told her that one of the things that I need to really work on in this new year is that I can no longer handle volatility. To which Karm responded, "I'm not volatile," which is kind of like if Stevie Wonder said, "I'm not really blind." It just doesn't make any sense. I wrote down here, it'd be like if Mount Everest, if it was human, claiming it had dwarfism. That's the same as Karm not being. So at the real moments, real conversations at the O'Hare gate, we were waiting for the wheelchair I was telling you about. We got out gate 17E, whatever it is. This is the gate right here. Walk out, and then right here was the restroom. And Karm stops and he goes, "Joel, Joel, Joel, Joel." But it's Joanne. And I turn around, my heart rate is beating out of my heart's beating out of my chest. She says, and I quote, "How will we know how to get back from the bathroom?" It was 9 steps away to the left. Zero sense of direction. Is it? Zero. So my son Judah lately has been screaming. That's a tactic of a 5-year-old, typical tactic. And there's concern now. My mother's biggest concern in the world are his vocal cords. So she's brought. Said to my mom, I wonder where he got his habit of yelling. Um, Last thing, I turn it over to the videographer for the live podcast. I do use a touch of hair product, which I forgot on this trip, and so I insisted that we stop at Walgreens today, and to which Carmela responded without batting in 1/10 of 1 second. She said, "Your hair product won't help with your face. Your beard looks horrible. Please listen to your mama." And then at the end, we are currently fighting because here, B, you're in charge now. Sorry, everyone. See if they can hear okay. So I like to start with like these.
Wait, it's showing me.
Oh, well, flip it around. We're very professional, as you can tell, very buttoned up, especially with our podcast is sort of the podcast for those of you who do not know who are new. It is Logan, right? Yeah. Yeah, Logan just walked into the store. What are your names?
Our names?
Yeah.
Laurel and Jackie.
Jackie and Laurel. So thank you so much. I basically bribed them into coming. And hello, you guys come join us. We're doing a signing. My mom's a Holocaust survivor, and it's nice, light fun. We're having a very fun. It's actually a funny book I wrote. So about not a lot of people say Holocaust and laugh out loud, but
No, there is, everybody says that he writes very well. I no question. I cannot write the sentences. But
oh, by the way, I need to finish because we're fighting right now, Karm and I. If you can feel the tension, and it's because
no, we are not in a good place.
we're fighting. Karm, and I quote, the last thing she said to me before we are now fighting was, how did you phrase it? You said, Karm says, I've come to a conclusion at 84. Oh, she's almost 80. I've come to a conclusion at 85. So what? She goes, that you're not a nice person. Because we were videotaping her. I wasn't. My kids were. She's having trouble getting into the minivan. I had to raise her up by her behind. And so I'm insisting that she apologize.
I have to either my son or my daughter-in-law Ileana stand behind me and push me out. I truly can't get in.
Anyway, I said you apologize. Said I'm not apologizing. You said you apologize. So the word for fight. In spite of fighting. And before I forget, Thursday, if you haven't had enough of this, we're going to be at Shalom, which is a synagogue in Glencoe. I was going to say Long Island, which is at Glen Cove, Long Island, but it's Glencoe, Illinois. And without further ado,
We should really end
we kind of take and Karm is going to do most of the talking, but on a serious note, and by the way, shout out to Nadine, who I've known since high school days. I have not we're connected on Facebook, but I haven't seen her in 30 something years.
and recognized her. That's
Because of Facebook. In fairness to me.
Wait,
So,
how do you know?
I come from a small town in New Jersey, and she's in the next door town, Highland Park in East Brunswick, and it's kind of like Skokie, I guess, ish. And so we connected, and yeah, along the way, same thing happened in Philly. Mitchell Bornstein, the guy I went to high school with, showed up. I haven't seen him in all these years, so it's a small town. Busy bugs try not to get in the way. So on a serious note, my dad passed away a little over a year ago. My mom was married to him for 63 years. We still argue it's harder on me because he was my father for 54 years. Or if it was harder for her, we fight back and forth about that too. But something just made me realize kind of the urgency, I guess. I'd always wanted to write something. I had a career in broadcast news. Most recently, don't judge me, it's not a political thing, it was paying my paycheck, but I was a national correspondent with Fox News. I'm based out of DC. I worked for MSNBC. I worked for a lot of people. And at one point, I actually worked for Michael Moore, that's a whole other story. But and that was in 1999. He urged me to do something about my mom. And I actually started something back then where I was, I went to Europe where my mom's family lives in Israel, and I filmed stuff, and it exists on YouTube, but I never really had the time because I was so career oriented back then that I didn't have the time to do something with it. So that lives on YouTube. Fast forward to our podcast. I left Fox News. I have 3 kids. I was traveling all the time. It was impossible to stay there. And please join us if you'd like. We're doing a book signing, and you're more than welcome. Um, so, and I promise Karm will speak the rest of the way here. So I decided, after hearing Michael Moore and all this stuff, that I needed to do something, but I still didn't have the proper push until I met Carol Baskin. She is Tiger King. Our podcast now is True Crime. We cover the biggest cases, criminal cases in America with the best guests. I host like a Larry King style show, nightly live. We have amazing guests on to talk about. Like right now, we're doing a whole series on this attempted assassination. We don't talk politics. We're talking to Secret Service agents about what happened, what went wrong. It's very interesting stuff. Not because of me, but because of the guests. So, long story short, prior to pivoting to true crime, when we first started the podcast, my first guest was Carmela, and my second guest was an old friend of ours, who's a psychiatrist. Eventually, we moved up the ladder a little bit, and we got Carol Baskin on during kind of the frenzy of Tiger King, and she loved Karm because Karm called it the Lion King to her face, and she was the only one.
Probably the only American who didn't know that.
She didn't know what she was, and Carol Baskin actually was hating all the attention, so she loved the fact that Karm was calling it Lion King. Anyway, Carol Baskin said something that actually caught my attention. She said, "Your mom is an endangered species, like my beloved tigers." And it just kind of stuck in my head. And that's really like what gave me the kick in the ass to write the book. And I just started writing and found out things. I found out things about my mom. I found out something today. And this is a tale for everyone because everyone's family has a story and most people don't bother to uncover it. Just coming here today, we saw two scary dogs outside a bar on the way here. And I love dogs. And Karm starts telling me that she was a veterinary assistant in Switzerland and has a scar on her hand from being bit by a poodle or something.
No. The story was that these two look like bull pits.
No.
Pit bulls, and they look scary. And I said to Joel, it doesn't mean anything. Once I really worked as an assistant, temporary assistant to a veterinarian. I have other good stories, but I'll save it for another time. Like he would take a big jar of flea powder and put it in little envelopes and sold it to his patients as a special, very special, unique thing. But he bought it in the park. But anyway, my job was to literally hold down the dogs, and I was holding down this huge German Shepherd, and I wasn't really scared. And then one day, a cute little French poodle came in and bit me.
And she still has a scar. And I turned 55 next week. I never heard this in my life ever. And
no, but I was just telling you earlier that
come join us for the book. Come here. Come hang out with us. My mom's a Holocaust survivor. You don't meet one every day. And it's a funny book. Come sit down. Come sit down. Come sit down. It's a hard sell. Anyway, you're coming for the fun part where she was. You're coming for the fun part where she escaped death by a hair. So I didn't have coffee today. I don't really drink coffee. I had it yesterday in like a while. But anyway, the long story short is for everybody here, you're going to learn something about your family. I'm a journalist. That's in my blood. So I was asking a lot of questions. There are all kinds of things that are still that I'm finding out. But my mother, Judah, come here. When she was younger than he is right now, she had to be separated from her mother and hidden in a Catholic school for boys. She was younger than he is. She was 4 and change. He just turned 5.
1 month.
And they actually looked similar. She looked a lot. They looked alike a lot when they were at the same age. If you watch that movie, Life is Beautiful, the young kid in Life is Beautiful, that's the only movie I've ever saw the actor because my mom looks a lot like the actor, the little boy. So without further ado, Karm, what year was it?
Okay.
Tell us about being taken away from your mother.
I learned to, first of all, my son wrote the book, and the way it worked is that he would interview me on very many different topics every week he would come to my apartment and tape the particular about death, about love, about children, about friendship, different topics. So the Holocaust, which he likes to mention, is a relatively small part of the book because that was before my fifth birthday, until I was 5.5, and now I'm going to be August 7th. I'm going to be 85, and 80 years, a lot of different other things happened in 80
By the
years.
way, on her 85th birthday, we have a book signing in Atlanta. She goes, Joanne, I am not going. I am not going. And we fight back. But by the way, the woman who owns that bookstore just emailed me and said she got her the most beautiful birthday cake, which was supposed to be a surprise. So now I guilted Karm and I said, but she got you a birthday cake. And I am not going. I am not going. Karm, will you come to LA? I am not going.
Have a little, if I have to go into another car like that,
Yeah.
be pushed in. Listen, age has its pluses and its minuses. But in any case, I learn now not to, considering that it's a small part of the book, the Holocaust part is actually now a major part of my life, but not doesn't take up the book, a major part of the book. And I learned through the presentations not to use it as the major topic. I learned to tell it in a sort of telegraphic form, and people who are interested in more detail, it is in the book. But just in a telegraphic form, I was born in 1939, beginning of Second World War, in a small town in what was at that time Yugoslavia. I was the first child. I had a mother, I had a father, grandfather, grandmother, and we lived together. And we all lived together in this house. And then the war went on, and the Hungarians took over, the Hungarian Nazis, and they put us in the ghetto. And I moved with my grandparents, and my parents, excuse me, if you could do something with them, because they really
Yes.
annoyed me.
Okay, Joel, I can't do this and that. I can't do it. I can't do it all. Come on. I know. We're gonna go over here.
He's fine. Let's go. He's fine. That's what kids do.
Can't make me stand.
Judith, sit down and zip your mouth. All right, go ahead.
Yes, with that, because our grandma has a little problem concentrating in the evening, and then if you move around all the time, I can't do it.
That's why we call her the diva. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have this nickname.
Continue on.
Anyway, what happened was I wasn't 5 yet, and I was in the ghetto with my parents, and my mother wanted to run away and hide with me because by that time, World War II this was the end of this was in June of 1944. The war was already almost over in many parts of Europe, like in Italy and so forth. But in our area, it was still raging, and they were still taking Jews in cattle cars to gas them in concentration camps and kill them as many as possible. They already knew that they were going to lose, but they were really trying to do it. We were in the ghetto, and my father was friends. Today I cannot do it short. I have to get into it a little longer. My father was friendly with the.
Don't worry, we just have to go from 1940 up to 2024. We'll be done by Friday afternoon. Go ahead, Carmen.
So my father was friendly with this. It's a small town. Everybody knew everybody, and my father was friendly with the mayor of the town, and he was warned that the next morning they would take us to the cattle cars, and from there they would take us to Poland. He just called it like euphemism Poland, which means the concentration camps. And warned my father. He said, "Do something. Try to disappear." So that night my family didn't sleep, and my mother in the morning the Hungarian Nazis came and they asked for the jewelry and money to prepare it and put it on the table, get the little suitcase, prepare the suitcase, and because we are leaving. That's how they put it.
Real quick, while you take a breath, I'm curious because we've had other people. I don't know if you were here, but Nadine knows me from like the high school days. Did you even know my mom was a survivor? You do, because it was not something my mom talked about. It's something I never discussed. So I was just curious. But go ahead.
I didn't want it to be the center of I didn't want it to define me. I didn't want that to be my life, survivor. But now I'm in such demand, regardless of the book, because even the children are dying. Those who were children during the Holocaust are dying. So there is a big demand, especially around Holocaust Memorial Day. I'm a very hot item.
I'm going to skip us ahead. So the Nazis were literally coming. Her father, who was an optometrist trained in Germany, he did not believe that it would ever happen. There's people.
He went to school. I have his diploma in the book.
So there's a time where they literally come to grab my grandfather, and tell us what happens.
Well, my mother, who was a very delicate kind of meek little lady, really, had the courage to take me by the hand, and while they were going around from house to house collecting the jewelry and the money, before they took us to the train, in that little window of time, my mother took me by my hand and walked out of the ghetto through the back of the house, through a window, through a door on the fence, out of the ghetto. And she was very afraid that she would be recognized because it was a small town and she was blonde, naturally blonde. That's how I'm blonde. But not naturally. So she walked out with me and walked and met a friend on the way, knocked on a friend's window, opened the door, a Gentile friend. And they walked over to this eye doctor who worked prior to the war. He worked with my father. My father would refer him patients. He was an eye doctor, and he would send his patients to my father to have, because there were only 2 eyeglass stores in the whole town. And anyway, the eye doctor was a righteous Gentile, a very pious Catholic, and he knew that he would be hung or killed or shot or taken to a concentration camp. But he took the chance and let us in. And he was a benefactor of some nuns. And for that reason, we went over to the nuns and asked them if they would take me. Because my mother was afraid if I stayed with her, that she would be recognized and we would be killed. So my mother was willing to leave me with complete strangers, which happened. The nuns also knew all the risks of what was entailed in this acceptance, but they accepted me. And consequently, they said only come at night. I went at night and they accepted me, and there are details, again, it's in the book. And I was with these nuns for 6 months without my mother. So,
and when her mom left her, what was your famous?
Well, that I heard from my mother and Dr. Scherzer.
What did you say?
And Joel loves this sentence. He always makes me repeat it. I was screaming. I was very precautious because I was with 4 adults so many months and years and no other children. So I was screaming at the top of my lungs, a mother who loves her child will not leave her with strangers. And my mother felt very, very horrible about it.
And years later, my mom realized and said that
years later.
You said what?
I said to my mother many times, I said later that, you gave me birth twice. I mean, first when you gave me birth, and second...
Life. You gave me life.
Life. when you walked out through that back door to the house in the ghetto.
So that's the very cheerful story of Karm's upbringing.
But there is an interesting. So I will just skip to the what happened after the 6 months. My mother missed me. She heard through the grapevine that I was pale, that I had a sty, that I was, and she bribed a railroad worker to bring me up where she was hiding, in the capital of Hungary, Budapest, which was 2 hour train ride. And the interesting part of this whole story is that once I didn't realize this until this war started in the Ukraine, and I Googled it. And if you Google uh, the siege of Budapest, Budapest was surrounded and was invaded by the Nazis, and the Russians were surrounding Budapest. But ironically, the the units that liberated Budapest after 50 days of bombardments, which I had the pleasure of spending in Budapest. After 50 days of bombardment, they liberated. I'm trying to do it fast and get it over with, so we can talk about other things. But after 50 days, when they liberated, they were not Russians. They were Ukrainian units. It's written on Google. I didn't realize that until the war in the Ukraine. We interviewed a young couple hiding in Kiev, and at that time it became clear that they were the ones who liberated us.
So, I mean, an obvious point there is that history repeats itself because we're seeing it all play out in Ukraine. We see what's going on in Israel right now. And you see the division in this country. So it's just, it's obviously good to know. I'm no historian, but just in writing the book, again, I just think it's a message for everybody. Everyone's got a story. Everyone, long before this reality show, Dean knows some of these people. I remember having a conversation with John Hume and Mike Wexler at Highland Pizza in New Jersey in like 1993 and saying, and they're both very smart, creative guys that have done interesting things. I remember saying we should start a reality show before a reality show existed called Ordinary People, 6 Billion Stories, because everyone's got a story. Now there's like 7 billion people. But to kind of put a bow on it, at the end, last summer, we were actually, I'd heard about my mom's story, bits and pieces, her whole life. And I honestly just thought my mom was from this like horrible little town in Eastern Europe. Here, and we last summer. Father doesn't have cemetery works, literally incinerated in an oven. So so the only thing they could do was write his name on my great grandfather's cemetery. We went all the way there. We couldn't find it. Finally, we're like, okay, let's get out of here. Eliana, my wife, discovered it, and so we got to see it. And there's in the book, there's photos of my kids at my grandfather's. The only thing that remains of him, which is like straight out of Central.
Comes to think about it, Ileana saves us a lot.
She does save us.
Because I was ready to walk out of that cemetery already because it was very, very hard.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
They don't have, there's, it was interesting. So, that's kind of how the book ends. And,
they visit.
Yeah, and it was really amazing to just go see that with our own eyes. So,
But people, you mentioned also, I'm very sorry. She told me her name and I couldn't remember. Could you remind me of your name once?
Pam.
Pam. Sorry, Pam, I'm not good with names. Pam told me that, and I heard this from a number of people, quite a large number of people, that they cry, but they also laugh a lot.
Same.
Yeah, you had that experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the experience is, and it's almost
But laugh out loud, like it's so funny.
I'm pitching it as a laugh out loud Holocaust book. It's not going over very well, so I might have to change my marketing tactic. But by the way, we're at the Bookseller, amazing store. You guys should come out here when you're in Chicago and visit. It's a super cool street. How about questions? We'll take questions. I mean, the book's there to read. I hope you read it. I hope you will share it. I hope you will leave Amazon reviews. And I'm really looking, people have ideas about how to get the book. It's very hard to sell a book these days, and it's not about the money, it's about getting her story out there. And I think it's an important story. So I really would love, if anyone has ideas, you can always email me, survivingsurvivor@gmail. But if people have questions, happy to, yeah.
How old were you when you came to the United States?
I was 20, almost 22, and 2 weeks later I was married.
Oh, really? So you
I came to the United States because when I was studying in Switzerland, I met my husband. I was an undergraduate. He was studying there, and it was very complicated because the communists were in Yugoslavia and they wouldn't give me a visa. And I got a visa specially from the Swiss. It's called the laissez-passer. Just one time you can go somewhere with it. It wasn't even the Yugoslav visa because communism was in full bloom then. And so I arrived here with that document, and 2 weeks later I had it.
Oh my God.
My husband of 63 happens to be his father.
Yeah. And, he was actually in the process of dying during the writing. So that part gets a little heavy. But
Was your dad a survivor also?
no, my dad was born, great question. My dad was actually born in Brooklyn and raised in the boogie down Bronx. He was wasn't smart enough to get into medical school, as he said. So he went here. It was very hard back then.
It's not fair. It's
Not?
not
I think
fair.
he told me.
No, he did not tell you. You misunderstood it.
So what was the story? He said like 1 out of 2 people.
No. Absolutely not. It's you have a benign familial tremor, right?
Ooh, he's calling me out on the shape.
Oh, yeah, the shape. No, he has a little tremor. It runs in my husband's family. But my husband's father decided that my husband would not make a good businessman. So he should become a dentist. It's a very funny side story. And so he went to NYU pre-med, passed all his tests, and then he had to take practical. He had to take a piece of soap and carve a boat out of it. And they were 3 professors were watching him, and his hands were shaking. And they thought maybe he's nervous, so they invited him back, and his hands were shaking even more. Now he was really nervous. By this time, because he was accepted to the dental school, he was accepted, but by this time it was too late to apply to another specialty. And he heard from his friends that many GIs went to the University of Geneva to study medicine. He bought a ticket on a cross-Atlantic ship and went over there without even speaking the language. Luckily, they allowed you to use English textbooks, and there were about 100 American ex-GIs who were studying at that time there, and he finished medicine in Geneva, Switzerland, and wrote a book.
Here's another very quick sort of
He wrote a book, and that's where Joel became very competitive.
I always looked up to my dad because I was a little kid, and I'm, wow, my dad wrote a book. His book, I think, sold about 20 copies, but you can still get them on Amazon. It's called Humanistic Psychiatry: From Oppression to Choice, a real light read. But my daughter here, the middle one, the wild child, her name is Zizi, and it's a funny story, which is not funny, is my grandfather, her father was named Ladislav, and his nickname was Latsi. And then, just by coincidence, my grandmother remarried after Ladislav was killed, a guy named Ladislav, because it's a common name. So there was two Latsis, which I always thought was spelled in English Latzi. So I took the Z-I-Z-I. Her name was Zizi. Then my mom said, "What are you talking about? It's Latci." So, and then we found out in French it is
Little boys.
it's a little boy's thingy.
Oh.
So we went to Paris last year, and Zizi said, "Call me Elise." That's her middle name. So that was a funny story, right, Seabugs?
Right.
Or Zebug. But it's a very important name.
Now Vida is disappointed. She's just called Vida.
Yeah, which is life. So, so that's the craziness. But any other questions? I know this is a massive crowd here. Tough to get them in. But anything else you guys?
Was your relationship always like this?
It's gotten worse over the years. Much worse.
Definitely, especially today.
Yeah. Logan, anything?
Yeah. How do you approach talking to people in the middle of difficult experiences?
That's a great question.
I
Honestly,
have an answer.
go for it. Since he asked me.
No, I have a master's degree in social work, and I was married to a psychiatrist. And I'm the type, to be self-analytical and analyzing other people, and I did that all my life. So for me, it was just like, why pretend? Why not share? What you're gonna take it with you to the grave? What is the big embarrassment? Nothing embarrasses me about human beings. It's like, I dealt with a lot of different things. So even the true crime, when we are doing true crime, I am interested in the psychological aspect of the crime and the criminal. And they're doing it right now with this guy, ironically called Crooks.
Yeah.
Isn't that
The alleged assassin, but
they're analyzing him psychologically. They're analyzing him.
we're both really interested.
And Joe likes to talk about himself.
I was a journalist, and I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious in people's stories, and I just try to be authentic. I mean, there's so many. It's a totally different thing, but I watch the news and I scream at the TV because every reporter is so inauthentic. And if you're just like a human being, like, people open up to you. So that's the thought of my answer. So,
I had an interesting experience today. At one point, I sat down, where on Millennium Park there is that concert.
Millennium.
Millennium.
I
I just sat down because they were still going a mile the wrong direction. I said, I'll sit here and.
Wasn't the wrong direction. We were going to the playground.
That's the wrong direction for me. So I sat down, and there was a very nice lady sitting next to me, and I said, "What is this piece of music that they are rehearsing? I could swear I know it, and it's killing me. I don't know what it is." And we started to talk, and I found out that she is from Mongolia, that she has a daughter who went to graduate school here, and so she lives here now with her Mongolian husband. And then she told me about what's happening there, and then what happened to her mother and father, who were also married 60 years. And I had a life.
Karm, I had a brilliant idea. It just came to me. You should write a book called Surviving Mongolia. You should go out there for like 6 to 8 months. We'll ship you out there. And I won't get yelled at. Does your mother yell at you? She's so sweet. Does she yell at you?
Before, right now.
Like what? In 19?
When I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
He behaves like it.
Does your mother yell at you? Does your mother yell at you?
No, never.
Never?
Do you have a daughter, or are you an only child?
No, I have a perfect daughter.
Oh.
By the way, that's another, just to uplift you some more, raise everyone's spirits. She had another son that passed away, and that's in the book, from illness. But so I do have a sister, and I never really got to know. It was a long time ago. I was about 3 when he passed away.
Two.
Two.
Two, three.
We kind of humor is what got my mom through things, you know.
Humor and optimism.
Well, we were burying my
I,
dad.
people ask me, what is this optimism business?
We were burying my dad. This is
I
a true
don't know if
story.
it's genetic or if it's, a reaction to all the, reaction formation. I don't know what it is, but I tend to.
Here's another theme in the book is that everyone handles things so differently. I compare my mother. By doing the true crime podcast that we've done, I've gotten to meet really interesting people. One of whom is Carrie Rawson, who's the daughter of a serial killer, a notorious serial killer, the BTK serial killer, one of the most famous serial killers. And he was able to compartmentalize. So he was like the president of his church. He was also an animal control worker in Wichita, Kansas. Karm is not very dissimilar from this. Karm is excellent at compartmentalizing.
Yeah, he says just a shade different from a psychopath.
Well, yeah. But the point of it, when in the book, what comes up is that everyone does handle things differently, and I never knew anything about. She never went to the cemetery to see her son. I'd never been there, and I mean, this is kind of morbid but sort of funny. Is my dad was being buried, and I was delivering the eulogy, and we literally like stepped on something hard, and it was like underneath dirt. We moved the dirt away. It was my.
No, there was no dirt on it.
Yes, there was.
No, there was.
And it was my brother's tombstone in the same cemetery and I'd never seen it in my life. So it was kind of morbid, but sort of funny because you're standing on this thing, and sort of really depressing. But so that was the first time I'd ever seen it. It was a year ago.
You would have to take it in context. I think you have to take it in context. And it's in the book, explained in the book. I could explain it now.
But the yelling is getting much worse with age. So,
definitely, you don't control. When you are 85, you just say, why am I controlling?
Put your hand up.
any other questions? Zizi, you have a question?
Okay.
This is a question from someone watching on YouTube.
Okay.
Her name is
Her name is Floa Ski for Calm. Thank you for sharing your story. Did you manage to reunite with any of your family after the war?
Great question.
Yes, when I went up to Budapest, thank you for the question. When I went up to Budapest, my mother bribed this railroad worker, and he brought me up to her. My mother was hiding there during the siege of Budapest that I talked about before. And then my mother was there with my grandmother, and when we came back, it was my mother and my grandmother. And very shortly after that, she married somebody who was who also lost his wife and his only son. And his wife was expecting, and they took them to Auschwitz and killed them. And my stepfather was very depressed and very desperate. And he felt that the only way he could survive is if he helps my mother raise me. You know, that he needed that to make his life possible. And he was a wonderful stepfather. He was a very good stepfather.
By the way, we have an amazing. We're doing a live stream of our podcast, which is a true crime podcast. But we call them STS Nation, and they're an amazing community. We have 116 or 17,000 subscribers, and we've had a month where we've done 3 million views. But typically, we do about 1 million plus views to 2 million views per month. So, I come from legacy/traditional media, and I always say that that's dying, and this is what's becoming the norm. We can have direct conversations. Like I said, with this attempted assassination, we've been interviewing these really high-level ex-Secret Service agents and FBI agents, and you have really in-depth conversations. You can't do that in traditional media, so I think it's changing the landscape. There's one last thing.
How do you decide what crime to or who to interview or what crime to talk about?
So I have news in my blood. So obviously when we have something as big as what happened on Saturday, I pivot to that. But big stories, things that are headline making, but our original story, like our big story, is about a family in Toronto. We did a book signing, got a pretty good following in Toronto. The guy's name was Dan Markel. He went to Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law School, and then he's murdered back in 2014 when he was living in Tallahassee as a law professor.
Oh.
He was married to a woman named Wendy Adelson, and the story's been featured on Dateline in 2020 many times. I just had Phil Markel on, he's Dan's father, and it's just a horrible story where the in-laws wanted the kids, the ex-in-laws wanted the grandkids back in Miami, not in Tallahassee, and they went to the lengths of a murder for hire plot. The ex-brother-in-law was just convicted, and the mother-in-law, that is similar from Karm, is
I always say I always say I like them with the Adelson's minus the murder.
so Don Adelson goes on trial in September. We're going to be there live for the whole time.
Wow.
But then there's just there's cases that
This is a fantastic side story. I have to say this. The mother.
she hates book signing.
No, I like people, but I just, you expect no rain, you expect something better. I'm disappointed, but it's better than yesterday, because yesterday was a tornado. Yeah.
You didn't finish your
But
story.
you interrupted.
No, you interrupted yourself.
No, you interrupted me.
You interrupted yourself. What were you just talking about?
You were going to talk about Donna and how she was stopped on her way to.
Yeah, but
Very
what
good,
happened
Sia.
maybe her son, but I don't know what we would do with that, to be honest. They, her son was in jail too, waiting for a trial, or the trial already happened, I think the trial already happened, and he was going in for life. And suddenly, she decided to go to Vietnam.
On a one-way ticket.
On a one-way ticket.
They're wealthy people, by the way. She could have said, I'm going on vacation. I was stressed. She bought a one-way ticket, which is going to come back to haunt her.
Anyway, she was arrested, not in the waiting area of the airport, but on that bridge.
The bridge, the jetway, the jetway.
The jetway. Yeah, she was arrested on the jetway.
So one other thing, Carmela, so my kids begged me, they always do a little song at the end of the thing, and Carmela goes, don't make your kids into circus clowns. I'm like, it's not me.
It's okay if I was circus.
Yeah, so kiddos, it's time. Kiddos, it's time, and we'll sign books, and then we're going to sign books. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Kids,
Okay, this is your moment. It's now or never.
Can I just tell you one more thing?
yes, please. She can never end it.
It's such a sweetheart. She already read the book.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
And she's getting it for her cousin in
Like,
Sacramento.
it's like it's from my cousin Carrie's the one that first got me interested in your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
And she's trying to get everybody in Sacramento.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
We need to go
thank
there for
you.
book signing, but Farm hates them. But you don't think any less of me after you read the book. Oh, okay.
I take a picture of you guys on the video.
Yeah, so,
On the channel now.
Where's Judah? Are you in it? Are you in on
Oh,
this? Or you hanging out with your man Logan?
Judah, we're waiting on you, bro.
Let's go. Let me have that. I have a funny thing for the end. Let's go. Go
Okay,
ahead.
get in,
Do
get
your
in.
thing. Here we go. On 3. 1.
Wait, what? We're doing our song?
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Never gets to practice.
Okay, well, now's your time to practice.
There's no practice. It's now or
No
never.
pressure.
It's live.
CS is the very best. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You got to tell them what the handles are. On Twitter, what's the handle? At podcast.
At Podcast STL.
On Instagram, at Surviving the Survivor.
And follow our dog's Instagram.
Yes, and what's that? Fred?
STL.
No, it's Fred.
STL.
Fred, Ethel, STS. Fred, Ethel, STS. Fred and Ethel. Yeah, so there you go. Awesome. Let's give them a hand. Oh, they have a song. Sorry. I thought that was a song.
Wait, no, now we're gonna have a song again.
Okay, start it over. Let's go.
STS is the very best. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Read the book for your sensations. Thank you, Bye. Bye.
Give him a hand. We just walked out of the store next door. Thank you all. We're staying on. We're gonna sign books now. I just have to, thank you guys. We're gonna sign books.
That's the best song ever. Did you guys write that song?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm just gonna run through the question for 2 seconds.
Amazing.
So slay.
Okay, guys, relax.
And wherever you want.
Bye. That's
This one's easy. The sassy one.
Yeah. Good. So they somebody's feeding them
yeah.
and taking them off my, oh, good. Okay. I'm glad you're okay. They have a picture of that. My name is Jamie. Jamie and my daughter, her name is Girl. Yeah. Just, yeah, Girl. Her name is Elizabeth. Yeah. I bet you like spending time with your grandma. Yeah. You know what? If I was ready, it would be like disgusting. What I would be Latino.
I'm gonna do you guys that.
Okay, hold on, Zizi. Good job. Okay, Zizi, we're waiting for Daddy to come back. Thank you. Trying to move the camera. Okay, no. Zizi. Thank you, Z. They're enjoying it. Okay, Zizi, I'm literally moving the camera away from you. So just relax. Thank you. You're doing great, but just go over there.
No, I am not like that. I don't say that. You know.
Yeah.
Zizi. Okay, stop.
What are you doing the rest? Oh, you're on.
Yeah. My audio is.
What are you guys doing the rest of the week?
Hold on. Let me just mute myself. So we're doing some sightseeing tomorrow, and then we have the exercise.
Everyone, can you hear?
Yeah, which we
Hello,
have
STS
about
Nation.
people.
What time is that?
7 or 7:30.
Yes, it is the Zizi show. I do love it.
Okay.
They are ready to sign the books. I'm gonna take a seat here.
I'll sign it.
Can you put a little thumbs up in the chat if you could hear, just making sure. And could someone put a thumbs up in the chat? You could hear? Okay, perfect.
Oh, good.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jessica M. Thank you.
So is that?
Thank you.
Wow. I started watching it on the FBI file on. Tomorrow, I think you're gonna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, so Chicago is good.
First one is really. We lived down there.
Yeah.
Did you go to all your hours?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Have you followed this Sarah Ben case? Yeah, we're gonna go to that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how.
Thumbs up.
Or so.
Okay, thank you for giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the blog,
Will you guys sign my book also?
yes.
Yeah, sign my book also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, so we do have Joel signing this man's book. I do have Grandma Calm. Grandma Calm, say hi.
Thanks so much. Thank you for
How do you know all that?
hopefully not.
Karm?
I just
You
know.
just know you're first mom.
So a lot of.
So this is like a family vacation.
So nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice city to visit in the Chicago. The weather's.
I am 8 years old.
Nice street where my daughter.
Thank you, everyone. I did see the thumbs up, and I am very happy that you guys
Back to New Jersey to
agreed on it and saw it. I actually did very appreciate that. So thank you.
Go back to New Jersey.
Thank you. Jen B, I am 8 years old.
most of the time So she came back for us, but she
Oh.
was gone.
Did you sell your house in Hill Park or you still have your house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it is actually a very, very good bookstore.
You go, bud.
No, I'm thinking, I'm gonna show you. Yeah. This is more.
Okay, good night.
My sister's dog.
She's not in the kindergarten yet. Pre-kindergarten.
Really well.
Yep.
Age, right here. No, you do it right here. Age.
Yeah. And he's
Excellent. Really good.
Hello,
Wow,
everybody.
he did it better than
Night.
I do.
Good night, Floa.
And like myself.
Okay, I'm gonna put it.
Yes, my parents do know that I do have the phone.
I don't know when, but
Sometimes.
oh yeah. Yes.
Soon I will also be in third grade.
Do you live here in
I live in Westland.
Yes. And I want to
Two A's, right?
NADIN.
Good night, IGQ vlog.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought there was.
No.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah, I could sing.
And she spells it two A's, not you.
Yeah, I could sing. It's just that I don't sing a lot, but like I sing sometimes. I like singing.
You know what happened? What happened was that I am staying with friends of my daughter.
Oh, that's so
But
nice.
when they live here, and I know her name is Marla, and Marla, I really know really well for the last 30 odd years.
I am very, very proud of my dad and of course the COE. She has been working very hard. No more tornadoes.
It's like time is not like an accordion.
So when I'm older, like I kind of want to be like, like I don't want to be like a news worker. Like I don't want to go like everything's gonna be news. But when I'm older, I want to be like,
Yeah. So you should take them to the.
I don't really watch Bluey, but if I had to pick one, bingo.
Lincoln Park too. I used to go to.
And I don't want to be like,
It's a beautiful. It's such a nice zoo, and
I don't want to be uh um a news thing, but like I want to talk about the news unless I'm gonna have a cute little own like my own channel on YouTube, a tiny one, and I'm just gonna be like a little single, like not too famous,
I don't
like
make the same ones. I can't stand.
my nanny is Ned Smith.
Don't worry, I get enough material.
So yeah, Black Widow. I'm just gonna be a tiny.
oh, amazing. Wait, are you gonna sign my book too?
Yes, I'll sign it.
How he had the idea of this. He's very creative, unbelievable. Even that idea of
You're beating me down.
you deserve it.
Oh, amazing.
My next book will just be a blank page.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. No problem.
Here, Grandma, here. Come back.
The next book will be titled "I Didn't Survive the Survivor." It should be all blank.
Thank you.
The end.
I love it. I love your t-shirt.
Yeah, so in Bluey, I don't really, if I had to pick one, it would be like bingo,
Hear that, Karm?
the kids. Thank you, Ness.
Next time I read.
All mine too. So.
You live in the city?
Yeah, I'm not the best at holding the camera, but I tried.
She has a beautiful ring. You read when it is.
Oh, thank you.
Are you married?
I just got to
Oh, congrats.
Oh, you did get married.
Newly wed.
How is that new if it's been for a year?
Oh, there's a question. Good question. Do you want to sign yours, boss? I would love that. Anyone can sign that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Call me tomorrow.
I will.
Make a plan.
Sounds
Okay?
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
sure.
happy to make an introduction.
Michael Rappaport, but also for the podcast, which is all women. Zane, you might want to pan away from this. I'm looking for some.
Would you?
Oh, sorry.
What?
Let's.
Did you really?
No.
Okay.
Go back.
Can you hold this? Because I have to take Judah to the restroom. But careful with what you're aiming at. No.
How old are you? You're 5, so will you go to kindergarten?
What's it?
Your first grade kindergarten?
Judah, can you do me a favor? Can you take him to the restroom?
Let's go to the bathroom. So yes, I
Like from 11 to 1, but.
thank you, Lauren.
Okay.
Lauren,
Oh, that's Lorna Mackenzie.
Lorna Mackenzie.
Yeah, she watches all of Daddy's lives.
Yeah, everyone was talking to me.
Very nice.
They were
I think
asking,
Daddy wanted to say hi to a few people. I'm not quite sure. So,
okay, like Black Widow, and I forget there was like a mom and his son, whose son, is in the same grade as me and the same age.
okay, I'm not quite sure. But we'll see what Daddy wants to do.
I think her name's Rachel.
Okay, great to get that. Okay, thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
And thanks for the recommendations for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Bye.
I'm sad about this.